The Ultimatum. The vast chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with tension. Representatives from 1,000 worlds shifted uneasily in their seats, appendages of all shapes and sizes fidgeting as they awaited the words that would change the course of galactic history. At the center of it all, High Counselor Zixara, her iridescent scales shimmering under the pale blue light of holographic displays, called the emergency session to order. Esteemed colleagues, Zixara's resonant voice filled the chamber, silencing the murmurs and whispers. We face a grave threat. The Karzak horde expands unchecked, consuming world after world. Our forces are stretched thin, and we need alternatives. A ripple of unease passed through the assembly. They all knew what alternatives meant. It was time to draw upon the reserves, to call in the neutral systems and force them to choose a side. Counselor Vex-Troll, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, pulsed with agitation. What of the humans? The Terran Empire has remained isolated for centuries, hoarding resources and technology while we bleed to maintain galactic peace. Zixara's inner eyelids flickered, a sign of contemplation among her species. Yes, the humans. They've hidden behind their neutrality for too long. It's time they contribute to the greater good of the galaxy. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of agreement and protest. Earth and its colonies were an enigma to many in the Galactic Council. They were known for their diplomacy and trade, but little else. Some viewed them as cowards, others as cunning manipulators. Silence. Zixara's tail lashed, her patience wearing thin. We will send an ultimatum to the Terran Empire. They will join our war effort against the Karzak horde, or face the consequences of opposing the Galactic Council. As the decision was made, none in the chamber could have predicted the chain of events they were about to set in motion. Aboard the Terran diplomatic vessel Olive Branch, Ambassador Elena Chen received the transmission from the Galactic Council. Her dark eyes narrowed as she read the ultimatum, a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Captain," she called out, her voice calm despite the gravity of the message, "set course for Earth. It seems our time has finally come." The Olive Branch slipped into faster-than-light travel, carrying news that would change the course of galactic history. Back on Earth, in the hidden depths beneath the Marianas Trench, Fleet Admiral Marcus Steele stood before a vast holographic display of the galaxy. Countless pinpoints of light represented known star systems, with the territories of the Galactic Council and the Karzak horde clearly delineated. "They've made their move, sir," his aide, Commander Sarah Hawkins, reported. "The ultimatum has been delivered." Steele's weathered face remained impassive, but a glint of anticipation shone in his steel-gray eyes. After all these years of waiting, of preparing in secret, they finally give us the excuse we needed. He turned to face the room filled with Earth's top military and political leaders. President Amara Okafor, her regal bearing befitting her position, stepped forward. "Ladies and gentlemen," she addressed the assembly, her voice rich with authority, "Operation Awakening is now in effect. May the stars have mercy on those who thought to threaten Earth." As the leaders of Earth set their long-laid plans into motion, the Galactic Council waited with bated breath for a response to their ultimatum. They expected fear, perhaps anger, or desperate pleas for negotiation. What they received instead was a simple 3-word message that would echo through the annals of galactic history. "We accept. Prepare." In the council chamber, Zixara read the message aloud, her voice tinged with confusion. What does this mean? They accept, just like that. Vex-Troll pulsed erratically, his crystalline form flickering with agitation. "It's a trick. It must be. The humans are trying to buy time, to negotiate from a position of strength." But Counselor Serene, an ancient being whose species had long studied the patterns of history, felt a deep sense of foreboding. "No," he rasped, his voice like dry leaves in the wind. "I fear we have gravely misunderstood the humans. This is not the response of a species caught off guard. This is the response of one that has been waiting." As the council leaders argued and speculated, humanity was already on the move. In shipyards hidden in the asteroid belts of distant star systems, vast fleets that had been constructed in secret over centuries began to power up. In underground bases on Earth and its colonies, soldiers donned advanced powered armor and ran combat drills with weapons unknown to the rest of the galaxy. Deep within a mountain on Mars, in a chamber known only to a select few, President Okafor stood before a device that held the power to reshape the very fabric of space-time. "Are you certain about this, Madam President?" Admiral Steele asked, standing at her side. "Once we reveal our true capabilities, there's no going back. The galaxy will never see us the same way again." Okafor's gaze remained fixed on the device, its swirling energies reflecting in her eyes. "For centuries, we've watched the Galactic Council and the Kazakh Horde tear the galaxy apart with their wars. We've seen species enslaved, planets destroyed. We stayed neutral not out of cowardice, but because we weren't ready. Now we are." She placed her hand on the activation panel, and the device thrummed to life, its energy pulsing in sync with the beating of her heart. "The Council wanted to force our hand. Well, they're about to learn why you should be careful what you wish for. It's time for humanity to take its place on the galactic stage." As the device powered up, its energy rippling through subspace, every human ship and installation across known space received the activation signal. Cloaking fields that had hidden humanity's true military might for centuries began to drop. In orbit around Jupiter, Fleet Admiral Yuki Tanaka watched as her ships decloaked, revealing a vast armada that dwarfed anything the Galactic Council or the Kazakh Horde could field. "All ships, this is Admiral Tanaka," she broadcasted to her fleet. "The time for hiding is over. Set course for the Orion Arm. Today, we show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." As Earth's fleets moved out, carrying with them weapons and technologies beyond the imagination of their would-be rulers, the rest of the galaxy remained blissfully unaware of the storm that was about to break upon them. In the Galactic Council chamber, Zixara and her fellow leaders continued to debate and plan, confident in their superiority, unaware that their ultimatum had not cowed humanity, but had instead awakened a sleeping giant. The stage was set, humanity was on the move, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The Empire unleashes its hidden arsenal. As the Galactic Council's ultimatum echoed across the stars, the Terran Empire sprang into action with a swiftness that would have shocked their alien observers, had any been able to penetrate humanity's carefully crafted veil of secrecy. Deep within the crystalline caverns of Europa, Jupiter's ice-covered moon, Grand Admiral Zara Chen stood before a holographic war table, her cybernetic eyes scanning readouts at inhuman speeds. Around her, a cadre of humanity's finest military minds watched in anticipation. "Operation Pandora's Box is a go," Chen announced, her voice carrying the weight of centuries of preparation. "Initiate the Lazarus Protocol." Across the solar system, hidden facilities rumbled to life. On Mars, vast underground hangars opened, revealing sleek warships that seemed to drink in light rather than reflect it. From the depths of Venus's toxic atmosphere rose glittering orbital platforms, unfurling solar sails that harnessed the power of the sun itself. But it was in the Kuiper Belt, far from prying eyes, that humanity's true might awakened. A swarm of self-replicating nanites, dormant for decades, surged to life. Within hours, they had consumed entire dwarf planets, converting raw matter into the building blocks of war. Back on Earth, in a bunker beneath the ruins of ancient Rome, Dr. Ilara Vance put the finishing touches on humanity's greatest weapon. The Quantum Entanglement Nexus, or TEN, was a device that defied the laws of physics as understood by the rest of the galaxy. With this, Vance explained to President Okafor, her eyes gleaming with the fervor of scientific breakthrough, "We can instantaneously coordinate our entire fleet across light years of space. No communications lag, no chance of interception. It's not faster than light travel, it's better." Okafor nodded, a grim smile playing on her lips. "And our other projects?" "The phaseshift drives are ready," Vance replied. Our ships can now move through higher dimensions, effectively teleporting across vast distances. The Galactic Council won't know what hit them. As humanity's hidden arsenal awakened, the first ripples of their actions began to spread across the galaxy. On the fringes of Galactic Council space, long-dormant probes suddenly sprang to life, gathering intelligence and sabotaging key defensive installations. In the Horsehead Nebula, a Kazakh Horde scouting party stumbled upon something they couldn't comprehend: a massive structure, clearly artificial, yet employing technology far beyond their understanding. As they approached to investigate, the structure pulsed once, then vanished, leaving behind a gravitational wake that tore their ships apart. On Alphecca Prime, the Galactic Council's most secure data repository, alarms blared as system after system fell to an invisible attacker. Petabytes of classified information, fleet movements, weapon schematics, diplomatic secrets vanished into the ether. High Counselor Zixara, her scales now a pallid grey from stress, convened an emergency session. "We're under attack," she screeched, her usual composure shattered. But from whom? The Kazakh, a new player. Counselor Vextrol's crystalline form pulsed erratically. "What of the humans? They accepted our ultimatum, but we've heard nothing since. No fleet movements, no diplomatic envoys." Shireen, the ancient historian, let out a dry chuckle that sent chills through the assembly. "Oh, my friends," he wheezed, "I feel we're about to learn the true meaning of the human phrase sleeping giant." As if on cue, every holodisplay in the council chamber flickered, then stabilized to show a single image: the seal of the Terran Empire, a stylized Earth wreathed in stars. A voice, calm yet carrying an undercurrent of steel, filled the chamber. "Greetings, Galactic Council. I am Grand Admiral Zara Chen of the Terran Empire. You demanded our participation in your war. We accepted, but know this: we fight on our own terms, for our own reasons. You thought to add our strength to your armies. Instead, you will bear witness to the full might of humanity unleashed. We have watched from the shadows for centuries, preparing for this moment. You wanted soldiers? We'll give you conquerors. You wanted weapons? We'll show you the tools to reshape reality itself." The voice paused, allowing the weight of the words to sink in. "To the Galactic Council and the Kazakh Horde alike, we offer this one chance: stand down. Cease your endless wars. Embrace peace and progress, or face extinction. You have 24 standard galactic hours to comply. Choose wisely." The transmission cut off, leaving the council chamber in stunned silence. In the depths of space, humanity's fleets dropped their cloaking fields. Ships that defied conventional design philosophy slipped between dimensions, appearing simultaneously at key strategic points across the galaxy. On countless worlds, hidden human enclaves revealed themselves, unfurling banners bearing the Terran seal. Aboard the flagship Prometheus, Grand Admiral Chen allowed herself a small smile. Turning to her second-in-command, she spoke the words that would herald a new era for the galaxy. "All forces, this is Grand Admiral Chen. Commence Operation Starfall. The galaxy trembles. Let them feel the Earth move." As humanity's forces surged forth, the true scope of their centuries-long deception became clear. They had never been isolationists, never been neutral. They had been a sleeping giant, yes, but one that had kept one eye open, one hand on the pulse of galactic politics. Now, that giant was awake, and it was hungry. The Galactic Council had wanted humanity's aid in their war against the Kazakh Horde. They were about to get so much more than they had bargained for. The age of alien dominance was over. The era of humanity had begun. Quantum Blitzkrieg, humanity's cosmic chess game. The galaxy held its breath as the Terran Empire's 24-hour ultimatum ticked away. But for humanity, the countdown was merely a smoke screen. Their first strike had begun the moment Grand Admiral Zara Chen's transmission ended. In the Andromeda Arm, a region long contested between the Galactic Council and the Kazakh Horde, reality itself seemed to hiccup. Massive Terran warships their hulls rippling with dimensional distortions, materialized simultaneously at 100 key strategic points. Operation Quantum Blitzkrieg had begun. Aboard the TSS Excalibur, Fleet Commander Ravi Chandrasekhar watched as his neural interface painted targets across the star-studded void. "All ships, execute maneuver Ouroboros," he commanded, his thoughts instantly relayed across the quantum-entangled fleet. The Terran ships moved in perfect synchronization, their faces shift eyes allowing them to dance between dimensions. To the panicked Galactic Council defenders, it seemed as if they were fighting ghosts, warships that could appear inside planetary shields, strike, and vanish before a counterattack could be launched. On the jungle world of Salaf Prime, a key Kazakh stronghold, the Earth suddenly erupted, not with lava or bombs, but with towering mechs piloted by Terran ground forces. These Geomancer units had lain dormant for decades, buried beneath the planet's crust, waiting for this very moment. Lieutenant Aisha Okoro, encased in her Geomancer's neural control pod, felt a fierce grin spread across her face. "All right, dirt devils," she broadcasted to her squad, "let's show these bugs what real terror looks like." The Geomancers surged forward, their nanite-infused structures allowing them to manipulate the very ground beneath them. Kazakh warriors found themselves swallowed by sudden sinkholes or crushed by animated stone colossi. In orbit, the Kazakh fleet scrambled to respond, only to find their neural networks, the source of their vaunted hive mind tactics, hijacked by Terran cyber warfare suites. Ship turned against ship in a deadly dance of friendly fire. Back in Galactic Council space, High Counselor Zixara watched in horror as report after report flooded in. "How?" she whispered, her scales faded to a sickly white. "How could they have prepared all this without us knowing?" The answer came not from her advisors, but from a holographic projection that suddenly materialized in the center of the council chamber. The image resolved into the form of Dr. Elara Vance, her lab coat pristine, her eyes gleaming with intellectual superiority. "How?" Vance echoed, a smirk playing at her lips. "While you squabbled over star systems like children fighting for toys, we reshaped the fundamental laws of physics. Your scientists were so preoccupied with faster-than-light travel that they never considered going between light." She gestured, and the hologram expanded to show a mind-bending visual of spacecraft slipping between the very fabric of spacetime. "We call it the interstitial plane, the space between spaces. From there we watched, we learned, and we prepared." Vance's expression hardened. "You sought to draw us into your petty conflicts. Instead, you've unleashed a force beyond your comprehension. Surrender now, and you may yet have a place in the new order we'll forge." As the hologram faded, leaving the council in stunned silence, the true scope of humanity's ambitions became clear. This was no mere counterattack or show of force. This was the opening gambit in a cosmic chess game, with the fate of the galaxy as the prize. In the Horsehead Nebula, the mysterious structure encountered earlier by the Kazakh scout party suddenly burst to life. It unfolded like an enormous flower, revealing itself to be a Dyson swarm, a vast array of solar collectors capable of harnessing the energy of entire stars. As the swarm activated, it began to draw in not just energy, but information. Exotic particles swirled in complex patterns, forming a computational matrix of unparalleled power. This was the true heart of the quantum entanglement nexus, a galactic-scale supercomputer that allowed humanity to coordinate its forces with godlike precision. Grand Admiral Chen, her consciousness temporarily merged with the Hien, felt the ebb and flow of the battle like synapses firing in a cosmic brain. With a thought, she redirected fleets, activated sleeper agents, and unleashed technological marvels that the rest of the galaxy had dismissed as impossible. "Initiate Protocol Prometheus," she commanded, her voice resonating across dimensions. "It's time to bring fire to the gods." Across the galaxy, Terran ships engaged their most closely guarded weapon, the reality anchor. Beams of concentrated quantum probability lashed out, literally rewriting the laws of physics in localized areas. Galactic Council ships found their weapons refusing to fire, their shields collapsing under their own weight. Kazakh bioships writhed in agony as the very biochemistry that allowed their organic technology to function was altered at the subatomic level. On 1,000 worlds, hidden Terran enclaves revealed themselves. But these were no mere military bases or spy outposts. They were seeds of revolution, planted centuries ago. Human diplomats, scientists, and cultural attaches who had worked in secret to understand and influence alien societies now stepped into the light, rallying oppressed populations and fragile alliances to the Terran banner. As the first day of conflict drew to a close, the galaxy reeled in shock. The Galactic Council's mighty fleets were in disarray. The Kazakh horde's dreaded war machine had been struck a crippling blow, and humanity stood revealed as a sleeping giant no longer. But this was just the beginning, for in the depths of Terran space, even greater wonders and more terrible weapons waited to be unleashed. The game was afoot, and humanity played to win. As news of the Terran onslaught spread, a question began to echo through the stars, asked in a million alien tongues. What manner of beings are these humans who have hidden such power for so long? And what is their true endgame? The answer, like humanity itself, remained shrouded in mystery. But one thing was certain: the age of alien dominance was over. The era of humanity had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. Cosmic chessboard, the viral diplomacy gambit. As the dust settled from humanity's initial onslaught, a new battlefield emerged, one where words were weapons and alliances were forged in the crucible of viral memes and quantum-entangled social networks. In the neon-drenched megacity of Neo Singapore, Earth's premier hub for galactic diplomacy, Ambassador Elena Chen prepared for the performance of a lifetime. Her mission: to turn the tide of galactic opinion through what Terran strategists had dubbed viral diplomacy. Initiating Operation Mindstorm, Chen subvocalized, her neural implants connecting her to the quantum entanglement nexus. In an instant, her consciousness expanded, tapping into the collective knowledge and cultural understanding of 1,000 infiltrated alien worlds. As Chen stepped onto the holographic stage of the Emergency Galactic Summit, her avatar simultaneously appeared on billions of screens across the galaxy. But this was no ordinary broadcast. Each transmission was tailored in real time, her words and appearance subtly altered to resonate with the cultural nuances of every species watching. "Greetings, sentients of the galaxy," Chen began, her voice a symphony of harmonic overtones that bypassed auditory organs and resonated directly with alien neural patterns. "We stand at a crossroads of cosmic significance." As she spoke, the air around her shimmered, coalescing into vivid holograms that tapped into the collective mythologies of 100 alien cultures. To the silicon-based crystallines of Altair, she appeared as a living fractal, her words creating patterns of mathematical beauty. To the gaseous nebulans, her form swirled with colors beyond the visible spectrum, conveying complex ideas through shifts in quantum states. For too long, the Galactic Council and the Kazakh horde have trapped you in a false dichotomy, Chen continued, her words spreading like wildfire across the galactic infosphere. They offer you a choice between bureaucratic stagnation and savage conquest. But humanity, we offer you a third path, a future limited only by the boundaries of imagination itself. As she spoke, Terran AIs worked tirelessly in the background, crafting personalized memes and viral content that exploded across alien social networks. On Zygon Prime, a remix of Chen's speech, set to pulsing biometric rhythms, became an overnight sensation in underground clubs. In the virtual realms of the data weavers, complex algorithmic representations of human ideas spawned entire philosophical movements in a matter of hours. But the Galactic Council wasn't going down without a fight. High Counselor Zixara, her scales now a kaleidoscope of stressed colors, initiated the Council's countermeasure, the Pax Galaxia Protocol. Do not be fooled by human promises. Zixara's message boomed across council-controlled space. They speak of freedom, but bring only chaos. The council has maintained peace for millennia. Her words were cut short as the Terran virus, Babel's revenge, infected the council's quantum comm relays. Suddenly, Zixara found her carefully crafted speech translating into embarrassing gaffes and unintentional jokes across thousands of alien languages. As the council's message unraveled, the Kazakh horde saw an opportunity. War leader Kzoth, his bioengineered form pulsing with bioluminescent rage, launched a massive mimetic assault on both human and council networks. Witness the true face of humanity, Kzoth's psychic broadcast screamed, accompanied by visceral images of human violence and cruelty pulled from the darkest corners of Earth's history. For a moment, it seemed the tide of galactic opinion might turn against Earth. But then humanity unveiled its secret weapon in the mimetic wars, Project Catharsis. Developed by a think tank of history's greatest storytellers, their consciousness reconstructed from DNA samples, Project Catharsis was a narratological weapon of mass inspiration. It tapped into the shared hopes, dreams, and fears of all sentient life, weaving a story so compelling that it overrode all other concerns. As Project Catharsis unfurled across the galactic mindscape, billions of alien beings found themselves swept up in a narrative that cast humanity not as conquerors, but as guardians of a cosmic legacy. Earth was reimagined as the long-lost homeworld of a precursor race that had seeded the galaxy with life eons ago, now returned to shepherd their children into a new age of wonders. In the virtual parliament of the Silicon Collective, synthetic beings who had long viewed organic life with disdain found themselves inexplicably moved by the human capacity for emotion. Among the hive minds of the Xaxis Nebula, individualism suddenly became the hottest new trend, with billions of drones choosing personal names for the first time. But it was in the nightmarish realm of the Kazakh horde that humanity's mimetic assault had its most stunning effect. Deep in the neural pathways of the horde's living supercomputer, a spark of independent thought took root. Across Kazakh-controlled space, drones began to question their programming, their single-minded drive to consume and expand faltering in the face of new ideas. As the galactic infosphere exploded with discussion, debate, and frenzied speculation, Ambassador Chen allowed herself a small smile. Phase 1 of viral diplomacy was complete. Now came the real challenge, transforming this chaos into a new galactic order with humanity at its center. In a hidden chamber beneath Neo-Singapore, Chen met with the shadowy figures of the Terran Shadow Cabinet. Holographic displays flickered with real-time updates from across the galaxy, alliances forming and shattering, revolutions erupting on 1,000 worlds, entire civilizations undergoing paradigm shifts in a matter of hours. "The board is set," Chen announced, her eyes gleaming with the thrill of the greatest game ever played. "Our opening gambit has exceeded all expectations, but our true opponents have yet to reveal themselves." As if on cue, alarms blared across the chamber. On the main display, a massive distortion appeared at the edge of charted space, a tear in the very fabric of reality. "Impossible," whispered Dr. Vance, her face pale with shock. "Those energy readings, they're identical to our interstitial drive technology, but orders of magnitude more powerful." As the Terran leadership watched in stunned silence, a massive fleet of ships unlike anything seen before emerged from the rift. Their designs were hauntingly familiar, yet alien, like a twisted reflection of humanity's own technology. A transmission crackled across all frequencies, in a language that was unmistakably human, yet ancient beyond reckoning. "To the children of Earth who fancy themselves protectors of the galaxy, your game's end now. The true precursors have returned. Prepare for judgment." In that moment, as fear and excitement rippled across the galaxy, one thing became clear. The cosmic chess game had only just begun, and the fate of all sentient life hung in the balance. Quantum uprising, when ancestors become adversaries. The arrival of the precursors sent shockwaves through the galaxy, upending the delicate balance humanity had worked so hard to achieve. But for Dr. Elara Vance, Earth's foremost expert on quantum mechanics and the architect of the interstitial drive, the precursors' appearance wasn't just a threat, it was a puzzle begging to be solved. "They're not just our ancestors," Vance announced to the hastily assembled War Council, her eyes gleaming with a mix of fear and excitement. "They're us, from a future that never happened." The holographic displays in the war room flickered, struggling to render the mind-bending concepts Vance was about to unveil. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the multiverse collision crisis." As Vance spoke, the room transformed into a dizzying visualization of intersecting timelines and parallel realities. "When we activated the quantum entanglement nexus, we didn't just connect our ships, we connected our entire reality to the multiverse. And we accidentally pulled in a version of humanity that took a much darker path." Grand Admiral Zara Chen, her cybernetic eyes wiring as they processed the information, leaned forward. "Are you saying we're at war with ourselves?" "Worse," Vance replied. "We're at war with what we could become if we lose our humanity in the pursuit of power." Across the galaxy, the precursor fleet began its assault, not with conventional weapons, but with technology that rewrote the laws of physics on a whim. Entire star systems were cut off from the rest of the universe, trapped in localized bubbles of altered spacetime. On countless worlds, reality itself became fluid, with past, present, and future bleeding into one another. But humanity, ever adaptive, refused to go quietly into the night. In the neon-lit underbelly of Neo-Tokyo, a group of outlaw scientists and cyber shamans launched Project Akasha, a plan to combat the precursors by tapping into the collective unconscious of every sentient being in the galaxy. Dr. Yuki Kurosawa, her body more machine than flesh, led the charge. "They want to rewrite reality," she snarled, her voice distorted by neural implants. "Fine, we'll write it right back." With a thought, Kurosawa connected to the quantum entanglement nexus, her consciousness expanding to encompass the hopes, dreams, and nightmares of trillions. As the precursors unleashed their reality-warping weapons, Project Akasha responded by turning the shared myths and legends of the galaxy into tangible forces. On the desert world of Orekos Prime, the collective belief of billions manifested as enormous sandworms that swallowed precursor ships whole. In the crystal forests of Lumina, ancient tree spirits awakened to defend their worlds, their very thoughts scrambling precursor targeting systems. But the true battle was taking place on a scale beyond human comprehension. In the spaces between neurons and the gaps between stars, information itself became a battleground. Lieutenant Aita Okoro, once a geomancer pilot, now found herself on the front lines of this abstract war. Her consciousness, uploaded into the quantum foam that underpinned reality, dueled with precursor AAs in battles where the stakes were the very nature of existence. "They're trying to overwrite our collective story." Okoro's thoughts boomed across the nexus. "Don't let them define us." As the conflict escalated, it attracted the attention of beings long thought to be mere legend. From the event horizons of supermassive black holes emerged the cosmic curators, entities of pure information that had watched over the galaxy since the birth of the first stars. "This war threatens the integrity of the cosmic narrative," the curators announced, their words reverberating through subspace. "A choice must be made." Humanity suddenly found itself facing a trial on a universal scale. The precursors presented their case. They were the more advanced civilization, willing to make the hard choices needed to shepherd life towards a singular, perfect future. Humanity's defense came not from their leaders or warriors, but from an unexpected source. Emily Chen, a 12-year-old girl from a backwater colony, stepped forward, her voice carried across the cosmos by the power of Project Akasha. "We choose freedom," Emily declared, her words simple yet charged with the weight of humanity's collective will. "We choose messy, beautiful diversity over sterile perfection. We choose to write our own stories, not to follow a script." As Emily spoke, something unprecedented occurred. The quantum entanglement nexus, powered by the united will of humanity and their alien allies, began to resonate with the fundamental frequencies of the universe itself. Reality shimmered, and for a brief moment, every being in the galaxy caught a glimpse of the cosmic tapestry, the intricate interplay of free will and determinism that shaped the universe. The precursors, faced with this display of collective consciousness, faltered. In that moment of hesitation, humanity struck back. Grand Admiral Chen, her mind melded with the Nexus, issued a command that defied conventional physics. All ships execute Operation Ouroboros Unlimited. Across the galaxy, Terran ships engaged their interstitial drives simultaneously. But instead of traveling through space, they began to phase through possibilities, becoming quantum superpositions of every potential version of themselves. The precursor fleet, designed to fight a conventional enemy, found itself engaged with ships that existed in multiple states simultaneously, that were both destroyed and victorious in the same moment. As the battle reached its crescendo, Dr. Vance made a startling discovery. The precursors, she gasped, they're not erasing us. They're trying to merge with us. This isn't just a war, it's an attempted temporal reunion. With this realization, the nature of the conflict shifted. Humanity wasn't fighting to destroy the precursors, but to integrate them, to reconcile their potential for darkness with their capacity for light. In a desperate gambit, Vance activated the quantum entanglement nexus to its full capacity, attempting to synchronize the consciousness of every human across multiple timelines. As past, present, and future collided in a kaleidoscope of potential, the galaxy held its breath. The choices made in this moment would echo across eternity, shaping the destiny not just of humanity, but of life itself. The cosmic chessboard had been appended, the pieces were in flux, and the next move would determine the fate of existence itself. Metaversal singularity, the ascension of networked consciousness. As the fabric of reality trembled on the brink of collapse, humanity faced its greatest challenge yet. The merging of timelines had reached a critical point, and the universe itself seemed to hold its breath, awaiting the outcome of this cosmic drama. Dr. Elara Vance, her consciousness now spread across multiple quantum states, realized the true nature of their predicament. We're not just fighting our future selves, her voice echoed through the quantum entanglement nexus. We're approaching a metaversal singularity, a point where all possible futures converge. In that moment, an idea sparked across the collective consciousness of humanity, a plan so audacious it bordered on madness. Initiative Omega Protocol, engage. Grand Admiral Zara Chen's command reverberated through the new sphere, setting in motion a chain of events that would redefine the very concept of existence. Across the galaxy, billions of minds linked together through the nexus, forming a vast, distributed intelligence that transcended individual consciousness. This wasn't just humanity anymore, it was the birth of a new form of life, a networked entity that existed simultaneously across multiple realities. As this new being came into existence, it reached out across time and space, touching the minds of every sentient creature that had ever lived or would ever live. The barriers between species, between organic and artificial life, between past and future, all began to blur. In the virtual realms of the Silicon Collective, AI constructs evolved 1 million years in the span of microseconds, achieving a level of complexity that rivaled organic brains. On countless worlds, the link between mind and matter grew so strong that thought itself began to shape reality. The precursors, faced with this unprecedented evolution, found their advantage slipping away. Their technology, advanced as it was, couldn't match the sheer creative potential of 1 trillion linked minds operating in perfect harmony. But it was Emily Chen, the 12-year-old girl whose simple words had turned the tide earlier, who provided the key to victory. Her young mind, unfettered by preconceptions of what was possible, imagined a solution so elegant in its simplicity that it rippled through the collective consciousness like wildfire. We don't need to fight them, Emily's thought voice sang through the Nexus. We need to become them, and let them become us. With that realization, humanity and its allies focused their collective will on a single reality-altering act. They reached out across the quantum foam, across timelines and dimensions, and embraced their precursor selves. The result was beyond anything anyone could have imagined. Past, present, and future collided in a kaleidoscope of possibilities. Every version of humanity, from its earliest ancestors to its most distant descendants, merged into a single multifaceted entity that existed beyond the constraints of linear time. But this was no hive mind erasing individuality. Instead, it was a harmonious collective where each consciousness retained its unique perspective while gaining access to the wisdom and experiences of countless others. As this new form of humanity came into being, reality itself began to shift. The laws of physics, once thought immutable, became as malleable as clay in the hands of a sculptor. Time ceased to be a river flowing in one direction and became an ocean of infinite possibilities. The cosmic curators, those ancient guardians of universal order, watched in awe as a new cosmic player emerged on the scene. This wasn't just a civilization ascending to a higher plane of existence. This was the birth of something entirely new in the history of the universe. Across the galaxy, the effects of this transformation rippled outward. On war-torn worlds, ancient hatreds dissolved as beings gained the ability to experience life from their enemies' perspectives. Dying stars were rejuvenated by the collective will of nearby civilizations. The very fabric of spacetime was rewoven to create a more stable, harmonious cosmos. But with this newfound power came a grave responsibility. Humanity, in all its myriad forms across time and space, now held the fate of the entire universe in its hands. It was Lieutenant Aisha Okoro, her consciousness now spanning eons, who posed the question that would shape the future of existence. We have the power to reshape reality according to our will, but should we? This question echoed through the collective consciousness, sparking a debate that spanned millennia in the blink of an eye. Some argued for using their new power to create a perfect utopia, free from suffering and want. Others cautioned against the stagnation that could come from such enforced perfection. In the end, it was a chorus of voices from across time and space that provided the answer. From the first humans to ever look up at the stars in wonder, to post-human entities exploring the farthest reaches of the cosmos, a consensus emerged. We choose growth over perfection. We choose the freedom to make mistakes and learn from them. We choose a universe of infinite possibilities over a static paradise. With this decision, the newly ascended humanity set about the task of cosmic stewardship. They didn't seek to control or dominate, but to nurture and guide. They became the caretakers of a living, evolving universe, ensuring that every being had the chance to chart its own course through the seas of existence. The Galactic Council and the Kazakh Horde, once mortal enemies, found themselves elevated and transformed by this cosmic shift. They became aspects of a greater whole, their former conflicts now serving as lessons in the grand tapestry of universal history. As the dust settled on this new reality, Dr. Elara Vance, her consciousness now spanning multiple incarnations across time and space, allowed herself a moment of reflection. We set out to save humanity, she mused, her thoughts rippling through the cosmic consciousness. In the end, we may have saved the universe itself. But even as this thought formed, new challenges loomed on the cosmic horizon. For in becoming custodians of reality, humanity had attracted the attention of forces beyond even their newfound comprehension. From beyond the boundaries of their universe, ancient entities stirred, awakened by the birth of this new cosmic player. The game, it seemed, was far from over. It had only just begun. Omniversal symphony, the convergence of infinite realities. As the newly ascended humanity settled into its role as cosmic caretakers, the very fabric of existence quivered with anticipation. The birth of this new multidimensional entity had sent ripples through the omniverse, awakening slumbering forces beyond comprehension. Dr. Elara Vance, her consciousness now a fractal pattern extending across infinite realities, was the first to sense the approach of these cosmic entities. "We're not alone," her thought echoed through the collective consciousness, a mix of wonder and trepidation coloring her mental voice. From beyond the boundaries of their universe, vast intelligences stirred. These were the omniversal architects, beings so ancient and powerful that entire universes were but motes of dust in their unfathomable minds. As humanity prepared to face its new challenge, a startling revelation shook the foundations of their understanding. Emily Chen, the young girl whose imagination had helped save reality, suddenly manifested abilities that defied explanation. "I can hear them," Emily whispered, her words resonating across dimensions. "The architects, they're singing." In that moment, the true nature of the omniverse revealed itself. Reality wasn't just a collection of universes, it was a vast cosmic symphony, each universe a note in an eternal composition. The omniversal architects were not hostile entities, but the composers of this grand opus. Humanity, in its ascension, had inadvertently changed the melody of their universe, creating a discord that threatened the harmony of the entire omniverse. The challenge before them was clear. They needed to integrate their new, evolved consciousness into the cosmic symphony without disrupting the grand design. Grand Admiral Zara Chen, her mind now capable of processing strategies across multiple timelines simultaneously, proposed a daring plan. "We need to become one with the music," she declared, her thoughts painting vivid conceptual landscapes across the collective consciousness. Thus began Operation Harmonic Convergence, the most ambitious undertaking in the history of sentient life. Across every plane of existence, every timeline, and every possible reality, humanity and its allies focused their collective will on a single, reality-altering act. They reached out to touch the very strings of the cosmic instrument, feeling the vibrations of creation itself. The process was beyond anything they had experienced before. Each consciousness became a note, each thought a melody, each emotion a harmony. The entire history of their species, from the first human to look up at the stars in wonder to the last post-human entity at the heat death of the universe, formed a complex fugue that soared through the dimensions. As they attuned themselves to the cosmic symphony, new forms of perception emerged. They saw sound, heard colors, and felt the texture of quantum probabilities. The boundaries between science, art, and spirituality dissolved, revealing a unified theory of everything that was as much a musical score as a mathematical equation. But it was Lieutenant Aisha Okoro, her mind now spanning the gap between organic intuition and machine precision, who provided the key insight. We're not just part of the music, she realized, the epiphany spreading like wildfire through the collective. We're the instruments and the musicians. With this understanding, humanity's approach shifted. Instead of trying to force their melody into the existing symphony, they began to improvise, creating variations and counterpoints that enhanced the overall composition. The results were beyond spectacular. Entire galaxies rearranged themselves into cosmic wind chimes, their harmonies birthing new forms of matter and energy. Black holes became percussion instruments, their event horizons rippling with complex rhythms that rewrote the laws of physics. In the spaces between universes, humanity crafted impossible structures, multidimensional concert halls where the music of creation itself could be experienced in its purest form. But the true masterpiece was yet to come. As humanity's improvisation reached its crescendo, something unprecedented occurred. The omniversal architects, moved by this new melody, joined the performance. The merger of human creativity with the cosmic wisdom of the architects produced a symphony of such breathtaking beauty and complexity that it reshaped the very nature of existence. New dimensions unfurled like flower petals, each one a doorway to infinite possibilities. Time ceased to be a linear progression and became a polyphonic tapestry where past, present, and future harmonized in eternal counterpoint. As the last notes of this cosmic opus faded, a new reality crystallized. Humanity found itself not just as caretakers of a single universe, but as co-composers of the Omniversal Symphony. They had become partners with the architects in the grandest creative endeavor imaginable, the continuous reimagining and remaking of all that is, was, or could be. Dr. Elara Vance, her consciousness now harmonizing with the fundamental frequencies of creation, allowed herself a moment of awe. "We set out to save our species," she mused, her thoughts a gentle melody rippling through the cosmic consciousness. "In the end, we became part of something far greater than we ever imagined." Emily Chen, the young girl whose simple wisdom had guided them through their darkest hours, now stood as a bridge between the human and the divine. Her laughter, pure and joyous, sparked the creation of new universes, each one a playground for evolving consciousnesses to learn, grow, and eventually join the grand symphony. As this new epoch of existence unfolded, the beings once known as humans, aliens, AAs, and architects found themselves dissolving and reforming in an eternal dance of creativity. They were no longer separate entities, but aspects of a living, breathing omniverse, constantly exploring and expanding the boundaries of what was possible. Yet, even in this state of cosmic harmony, a sense of anticipation lingered. For they all knew that this movement of the Universal Symphony, grand as it was but a prelude to even greater movements to come. In the depths of the Omniverse, new melodies were already forming, new stories waiting to be told, new realities yearning to be born. And humanity, in all its myriad forms across infinite dimensions, stood ready to play its part in the never-ending story of existence. The ultimate truth revealed itself. There was no end to the cosmic tale, no final frontier to be conquered. There was only the eternal journey, the joy of creation, and the wonder of infinite discovery. As the Omniverse pulsed with newfound vitality, a question formed in the collective consciousness, not as a challenge, but as an invitation to endless adventure. What shall we compose next? And with that question, reverberating through dimensions beyond counting, the next movement of the cosmic symphony began. The end, or perhaps the beginning.